Hi, we are the Brazil team and we're going to talk to you about this beautiful country. Our team is formed by Alfredo, Celik, and me, Jimena. So we're going to start. I'm going to talk about people at Brazil. With its 200 million inhabitants, Brazil has the largest population in Latin America and ranks 5th in the world after China, India, the United States, and Indonesia. So proud of its status of a melting pot in which different cultures and races exist side by side, racism remains a real and largely unacknowledged problem, and Brazil's indigenous population of some 700,000 individuals scattered across the country in 225 different societies continues to suffer from violence and marginalization. Organized crime, urban modern rates often 10 times those in the most violent cities in the US, and the second largest consumption of cocaine are in world urgent attention. Now I'm going to talk to you about Brazilian's food. Brazilian's cuisine is the set of cooking practices and traditions of Brazil, and is characterized by European, Amerindian, African, and most recently Asian influences. It varies greatly by region, reflecting the country's mix of native and immigrant populations, and its continental size as well. This has created a national cuisine market by the preservation of regional differences. Its ingredients first used by native Brazilians are cashews, cassava, guaraná, acai, cumaru, and tucupi. Some typical dishes are feijoada, considered the national country's dish. There's also caruru, consisting of okra, onion, dried shrimp, and toasted nuts, cooked with palm oil. And also moqueca, consisted of slow-cooked fish, tomato, onions, and garlic topped with cilantro, and a mildly spicy sausage. The national beverage is coffee, while cachaca is Brazil's native liquor. Cachaca is distilled from fermented sugar cane and is the main ingredient in the national cocktail caipirinha. Cheese buns, tapioca, finger foods, and pastes are their most popular dessert.
In Brazil, there are several tourist attractions which attract a lot of attention, and that is why many people go there to visit them. One of the 10 and the most famous is the Cristo de Redimir, located in Rio de Janeiro. Another of 10 is the Banco de Brasil Cultural Center, also located in the Rio de Janeiro. There is also the Metropolitan Cathedral, located in Brasilia, and these are several of the attractions that Brazil has. So if we really like to know them, and you? And the most important celebration, or those that cannot be missing any year, are the Lavagem do Bofim is the celebration of the Savior and is celebrated on the second Thursday of January. Another one is the Carnival, and this is most important of all since the whole country participates and is celebrated in the month of February or March. There are also the Young Festival, is this also the whole country participates and it is celebrated in June. And finally, we have the folkloric festival of Paritins. Is celebrated in the Amazon of the last weekend of June. And let it be clear that these celebrations are only a few accounts of many that Brazil has.
Religion. Brazil is a religiously diverse country with a tendency of tolerance and acceptance among different religions. The Brazilian population is mostly Catholic due to the cultural heritage of Portuguese and various migratory flows throughout history. On part of Africa, they obtained religious customs from Afro-Brazilian peoples. At the end of the 19th century, Spiritism began to spread in Brazil, which today is the country with the largest number of Spiritists in the world. It recently indicates the Protestant religion has grown a lot, thus being a fairly significant part of the population. Many practitioners of Afro-Brazilian religion, as well as some spiritualists, are also called Catholics and follow rites of the Catholic Church. Similarly, many spiritualists claim to be Christians despite not accepting some important aspects of traditional Christianity. This type of a social tolerance with syncretism is a peculiar historical framework of the various religions in the country. Culture. Favorite sport in Brazil. We say nothing new when we mention football as the favorite sport in Brazil, introduced by English sportsman Charles Miller. Brazil has one of the most successful teams in the history of World Cup football teams with 5 World Cups. Music and dancing. Brazilian music was developed by African, Portuguese, and American influences, resulting in different and unique styles including samba, bossa nova, brega, frevo, and axe, but the most popular by far is the samba. Another important form of dance art is capoeira, which has both African and Brazilian influence, combining martial arts, music, and dance in a fighting style. Language. Portuguese is the official language of Brazil, spoken by almost 100% of the population. Within Brazil, different dialects are spoken which all come from this beautiful and romantic Portuguese language, which make it a bit different from the Portuguese spoken in Portugal. As for other language, many schools also teach English and Spanish. If you get stuck with Portuguese, don't hesitate to use Spanish, as the similarity between language is very reasonable and many Brazilians have no difficulty understanding it.
That is the end of our presentation. Would you consider going to Brazil?